Welcome back to Mature Elegance. If you've been watching the old money trend explode on social media, I want you to forget everything you've seen from those 20-year-olds playing dress-up. True old money isn't a costume, it's a history. It is the silent identity of a man who understands that his clothes are an extension of his status, his discipline, and his lineage. For the man over 50, this isn't a look you try on. It is a standard you live by. We don't wear logos because we don't need to borrow authority from a brand. We engineer our presence through the raw physics of fabric, fit, and heritage. In this masterclass, we are dismantling the three pillars of the elite wardrobe: the overcoat, the trench coat, and the tweed blazer. These aren't just layers to keep you warm. They are visual fortresses. We will explore how to wear them to project a level of sophistication that makes youth look like a rough draft. And finally, we will discuss the discipline of maintenance, because a true patriarch doesn't just buy quality, he has the character to preserve it. If you are ready to stop playing with fashion and start mastering your environment, you're in the right place. Let's get to work. We begin our journey into the old money wardrobe with the undisputed heavyweight champion of the winter season, the overcoat. For the man of mature elegance, this isn't just an extra layer to fight the cold. It is a visual fortress that defines your entire presence before you even speak a word. But to wear it with true authority, you have to understand that you are wearing a piece of history. The modern overcoat as we know it, specifically the iconic Chesterfield, emerged in the mid-19th century, named after the 6th Earl of Chesterfield. It was a radical departure from the suffocating, tight-waisted coats of the era. It was engineered with a roomier, straight-cut silhouette, designed to be worn over formal suits, signaling the arrival of the modern patriarch, the man of industry and the master of his house. It wasn't built for a fleeting season. It was built to last a lifetime. Let's be honest. If you walk into a high-stakes meeting or a private club in a technical puffer jacket, you have already surrendered your presence. You look like you're running errands, not leading a firm. For a man over 50, the overcoat is a statement of permanence. This is where we talk about the raw physics of the fabric. We aren't looking for thin, flimsy wool blends. We demand a heavy, substantial fabric, ideally 100% wool Melton or a rich cashmere blend. Why does weight matter so much? Because weight creates drape. A heavy coat doesn't just hang on your body, it commands the space around you. It smooths your silhouette, creating a powerful vertical line that adds visual height and provides a visual stability that lighter fabrics simply cannot replicate. The architecture of the fit is where the true seduction happens. In our demographic, a structured shoulder is a strategic necessity. It frames your face and projects a message of physical capability and mental discipline. But the real secret of the American elite is the length. Most modern coats are cut too short, hitting at the mid-thigh, which looks indecisive. An old money overcoat must hit at the knee, or ideally just below it. This longer length creates an imposing, statuesque presence, the silent identity of a man who has the resources to move with deliberation. Finally, we have to address the colors of succession. A camel overcoat is the ultimate power move for a gentleman with silver hair. It provides a warmth and a glow that darker colors can't match. Navy, on the other hand, is the navy suit of the outerwear world, versatile, devastatingly sharp, and projecting total competence. When you pair these coats with a crisp white shirt or a fine-gauge turtleneck, you aren't just getting dressed, you are engineering your presence. You are leading the room with the weight of authority before you even take your coat off. Transitioning from the heavy, statuesque wool of the overcoat, we move into a garment that defines the tactical patriarch, the trench coat. While the overcoat is your fortress, the trench coat is your armor, engineered for the man who navigates the storms of both the elements and the boardroom with unwavering composure. The pedigree of this coat isn't found in a fashion magazine, but in the grueling mud of the 19th century battlefield. It was Thomas Burberry who fundamentally changed the game in 1879 with the invention of gabardine, a breathable, weatherproof fabric that allowed British officers to lead in the rain without the suffocating weight of rubberized coats. Every strap, every buckle, and those iconic D-rings on the belt weren't added for flair. They were tools for survival and equipment. When you button up a classic trench today, you aren't just wearing a raincoat, you are donning a legacy of military discipline that transcends generations. At this stage of life, the trench coat offers a unique visual advantage that most men overlook. It provides a structured, high-status silhouette even when you're dressed casually. But the secret to avoiding the detective costume look is all in the geometry of the belt. A seasoned leader understands that precision doesn't always mean perfection. Instead of using the buckle like a schoolboy, we embrace a touch of sprezzatura. Tie that belt in a simple, intentional knot. This creates a tapered waist and a powerful V-shape at the chest, projecting an image of physical capability without looking like you're trying too hard. For our community, the trench coat is the ultimate bridge. It silences the room whether it's layered over a crisp navy blazer or a high-quality polo shirt. We stay within the heritage palette: stone, honey, or deep khaki, colors that provide a neutral, authoritative frame for your silver hair and seasoned features. It's about being prepared, being disciplined, and understanding that true style is the ability to maintain your status regardless of the weather. You don't just endure the storm, you command it. If the overcoat is your city fortress, and the trench coat is your tactical armor, then the tweed blazer is the uniform of your private life. The life of a man who has traded the noise of the stock exchange for the quiet clarity of his own estate. To understand the power of tweed, we must look to the misty Highlands of 19th century Scotland. This wasn't a fabric designed for the ballroom, it was engineered for the elements, for hunting, fishing, and navigating the rugged terrains of the British Isles. The legendary Harris tweed, protected by its own Act of Parliament since 1993, is still hand-woven by islanders in the Outer Hebrides. This is a fabric with a soul, carrying the colors of the heather, the moss, and the stone. When you put on a tweed blazer, you aren't just wearing a jacket. You are wrapping yourself in the very soil of the old world. For a gentleman in his 50s, tweed is a strategic masterstroke. While smooth fabrics can sometimes highlight the lines of time on our faces, the rich, chaotic texture of tweed does the exact opposite. It provides a visual depth and a silent identity that harmonizes perfectly with seasoned features and silver hair. It suggests a man who is grounded, intellectual, and comfortable in his own skin. You aren't trying to look polished like a corporate intern. You are looking established, like the man who owns the firm, but prefers to spend his weekends in a library or a garden. The architecture of a great old-money tweed blazer lies in its weight and its patterns. We lean into the classics, the herringbone, the Donegal, or the window pane check. These patterns aren't loud. They are sophisticated puzzles of color that invite a closer look. A key detail for the modern Patriarch is the elbow patch. Once a functional repair for scholars, it is now a visual signal of a man who actually uses his clothes, a man who reads, writes, and builds. This is the essence of sprezzatura, a rugged elegance that refuses to be precious. Pairing tweed requires a shift in mindset. It silences the room when layered over a fine-gauge cashmere turtleneck or a rugged denim shirt. It bridges the gap between the formal and the outdoors. Avoid the trap of looking stuffy by ensuring the fit is modern, slightly tapered at the waist to maintain your physical discipline, but with enough room in the shoulders to move with ease. You are projecting a message of rugged intellect, the visual proof that you have the wisdom of a scholar and the grit of an explorer. This isn't just a style. It's a heritage you've earned the right to wear. Own it. Owning a piece of heritage is only half the battle. The true mark of a patriarch is the discipline he shows in preserving it. In this final chapter, we move beyond the what and focus on the how, the surgical selection and the relentless maintenance that separates the man of substance from the amateur. When you are selecting these three pillars, the overcoat, the trench, or the tweed, ignore the marketing and trust your hands. The tactile test never lies. Look for natural fibers only. If a coat feels plastic or overly shiny, it has no soul and will not age with dignity. Examine the construction. Look for real horn or nut buttons, hand-finished buttonholes, and a lining that feels as substantial as the outer shell. A true old money garment is engineered to be passed down, not replaced in 6 months. Maintenance is where your character is revealed. We do not toss these coats onto a wire hanger. We invest in wide, cedar wood hangers that mimic the natural slope of our shoulders, preserving the architecture of the coat while we are not wearing it. For your overcoat and tweed blazer, avoid the harsh chemicals of frequent dry cleaning. Instead, embrace the garment brush. A 5-minute brush after each wear removes the dust of the world and keeps the fibers alive. And for the trench coat, never store it while it is damp. Let it breathe, let it dry naturally, and treat the gabardine with the respect a battlefield veteran deserves. As we close this masterclass, remember that these coats are not just fashion. They are your visual fortress, your tactical armor, and your intellectual uniform. They are the tools you use to engineer your silent identity. At 50 and beyond, you are the architect of your own presence. You do not dress to be noticed. You dress because you have already been found. You are the leader of your firm, the head of your family, and the master of your environment. Thank you for joining me at Mature Elegance. If this deep dive into the architecture of heritage resonated with you, subscribe and join our community of men who understand that style is a discipline, not a hobby. Lead with authority. Stay sharp. We will see you in the next masterclass.